Ready to go?
Yeah.
We are synced. We are loaded. Ladies and gentlemen.
Where are we going?
We're going to drive west.
Okay.
Just because that'll be better sunlight behind us. So we haven't run over anybody yet, but I've popped several curbs.
Oh.
And come close to a dog or two.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It
You know
happens.
what? I pop curbs all the time.
Yeah. You're not
but
driving
that's okay.
in LA if you're not popping curbs.
That's right. That's a rule.
I was driving with my wife and I saw someone crossing like a median, like on the highway. I was like, look at this asshole. And she goes, I've done that. I was like, Jesus Christ.
You know what I never understood? So in California, the pedestrians have a lot of rights.
Yes.
You have to yield to them in the busiest roads. And that never made sense to me. In New York, you kind of you walk with the traffic, and then if you get hit, you hit. If you don't, you don't.
Like, do you check out women, or is that a guy thing? Do women check out women?
Yeah, I do sometimes. I'm like, damn, her butt looks really good.
Right? It's almost
I'm like I am no better than a man.
Yeah, okay.
Better than a man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on this next episode of Driving with Dave, we have Bachelor Season 24 contestant, Season 7 of Bachelor in Paradise, and maybe upcoming reality shows, Tammy K. How are you?
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. We've been trying to plan this forever.
Yes, I'm very excited to chat with you today. We met not about half a year ago in the fall at, actually, you know what it was? It was at, do you remember? It was...
We were at Brighton's concert.
Yes.
Yep.
And you were already starting to spill the tea. Do you spill the tea with everybody, or do you just see me as a Bachelor power recapper and you think that I want
No, I think I trust you because you were obviously friends with a lot of people that I know, and I trust my friends. So I'm like, you know what, whatever, I'll spill some tea.
Well, it's just between you, myself,
and the whole world.
Yes. So, how do you feel coming off of, a couple years removed from your seasons of Bachelor and Bachelor?
I feel like I've been removed for years now. Like, I feel like I'm an ancient artifact.
Did you do Greek life in college?
No, I never did.
See, when you become a senior in Greek life, you just wear sweatpants and don't try to impress anyone. When you're like the freshman or sophomore, you're like the pick-me, like looking hot. And I feel like a few years after Bachelor, that's the vibe people give, where they're like, been there, done that. Let me tell you how it was.
Yeah.
Does it feel good in hindsight, like your experience on the show?
Oh my gosh, I think I don't regret that experience whatsoever. All the highs and the very low lows, I would do it again the exact same way. Everything happens for a reason, so that brought me to where I am today. But I think it was a time of the past, and I have a couple of friends here and there still from the Bachelor world, and I'm moving on.
Moving on. You're a woman with many job titles.
I am.
Let me make sure I don't mess this up. Buffalo, New York?
I'm from Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse,
2 hours from Buffalo.
Orangeman.
Go Bills.
Yeah, go Bills.
Go Bills.
And you've worked as a bartender, real estate agent. What else? Give me the LinkedIn page.
I'm an insurance broker, so I own my own insurance company. I'm a real estate agent in 3 states, New York, Florida, and California. I ran a restaurant and lounge for 8 years in New York. And then I've been bartending since I was 17.
What?
Here and there. Before my real estate and insurance job, I used to open restaurants. So I've opened 5 or 6 restaurants before then. And I do marketing. I'm an influencer now.
You're an influencer, that's right. Where does the hustle come from? What do you attribute that to?
Mommy and daddy issues.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, rough childhood, which people never expect. They always think I'm an only child and that my parents love me dearly and that's why I work so hard, but that is the opposite.
So where are you in the sibling ranking?
I am the oldest of my bloodline. I do have a half-sister that we found when I was 11 years old. Then she lives in California, actually lives in LA.
Is that a father?
My mom was married before and didn't tell anybody.
Wow. I have a whole half family.
Really?
I found when I was 20.
A whole family?
Family. Brothers, sisters.
Are you close with them?
They're very great people. Yeah, they're very great people. Found them in the Midwest. This isn't about me, but yeah, I can relate to being like, wait a second. We didn't discuss this for a long time, so I can actually understand, but are you cool with your mom not letting you guys know about that?
Oh yeah, so Asian people, we're not really emotionally intact, I guess. It's kind of like whatever, We're like, oh, okay, just another day in the soap opera life.
Just a marriage.
Yeah, just a marriage, whatever.
It's like no one asked. No one asked.
No one asked. So why would she tell anybody? Nobody asked.
That was my mom. We never asked. We never said, hey, did our dad have any other wives before you? Turns out yes, and 5.
Oh,
My mom was, I think, 3rd out of 5.
wow.
But it's just amazing what happens when you don't ask, right?
Yeah.
The pre-internet,
I
23andMe.
Ignorance is a bliss, am I right?
So, do you have a relationship with this half sibling?
So we had a falling out when I was a kid, and then when I was
The sibling or you and your mom?
Oh, the sibling.
Okay.
When I was an adult, I decided to travel the world by myself, and I stopped in California, and I told her, I'm like, hey, I'm in town, and then we were inseparable since. And then when I got cast on the show, she got jealous and no longer talks to me because she is an aspiring actor. Let me tell you something. I'm going to say it right now. She's not a good actor, and she sucks.
Oh,
so that's why I'm sorry. You're not on TV because you suck at acting.
Is it because she's only a half sibling of yours? Did she not get the full bloodline? How can you talk about...
My other 2 sisters are not great actors either.
I mean, maybe she hasn't found her niche, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you think that you kind of got reality TV can be a shortcut.
Different.
It's different.
Yes.
It's, if you're an actor, you don't want to do reality TV.
Right.
Because it's, no one...
Unscripted.
And I think, unscripted, and of course there is acting that's involved, you play up to whatever tropes exist. But I could imagine that, you go on a show, you get verified, you become an instant, personality within the show. I could imagine that would be tough to deal with as a sibling.
I would like to say I hate this, but I think that people stem from their own insecurities. Like, I had a falling out with my cousin a little bit as well, and it's just when people tend to be doing the things that you want to do, you kind of get angry at yourself of why aren't you doing this? And they're taking it out on me. Like, I've never threw it in their face. Mm-hmm. I never was like, I'm not talking to you because I'm XYZ. It was, I don't even think I even talked to them about it, but I think they were upset that I didn't talk to them about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually have a family member who, and God bless them, loves them, but was like, I'm going to get into the podcast game. And I was like, I didn't say this, but I was like, you realize I spent about 10 years learning, 15 years in Screen Actors Guild and trying to, so I can understand a little bit of resentment if you think it's going to be easy because it can be a challenge, but it seems like your life outside of the reality TV world is a challenge as far as different jobs you're juggling. And so when you say mommy and daddy issues, which we all have in a different degree, were the jobs because you needed the money or because you just wanted to stay busy and that was how you saw success was through your work?
I think both. I'm going to therapy now for the 5th attempt, and I'm learning a lot more is that I tend to distract myself so I don't feel what I feel. Mm-hmm. I'm like an avoidant and anxious attachment style, which is like a freaking tornado. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I hate you so much, but don't leave me, kind of thing. So
yes.
I think I occupied myself with working, and I knew the life that I deserved to live, and I did not stop until I got there. I had 3 jobs ever since I was in high school. I did end up, I don't want to say homeless, but I was couch surfing between friends when I was 15 years old. My mom left to live with her boyfriend, and my situation with my dad was too terrible to go back home to. So then I was just living on other people's couches and on my own.
Were you still in high school?
Yes, I was still in high school.
So you had friends that kind of scooped you up and...
Yeah. My childhood best friend really saved me, and when they didn't want to take on that burden anymore, it's a lot, to take on another child. And my mom dropped me off at her friend's house, and then that was it.
Wow.
So it was a whirlwind of, different families and everything. But honestly, I met these people who cared about me for that time period. Unfortunately, I no longer talk to any of them. Just had a falling out,
That's going to be the key to this episode. It sounds like falling
out. Maybe I'm the problem. I'm just kidding. I think that everyone in their life has seasons, including friendships. Like the friends that I had last year, even that I were so close with, I'm not really that close with anymore. Just things change and people evolve and they do their own thing. And it's not that I have ill will towards any of my friends or my sisters or my cousin, but...
Do you think that anxious avoidant type makes it hard to maintain friendships? Like, do you need someone else? Because I know for me, if I don't have a buddy messaging me, I'm like knocking on the door, like, hello, where you been? I haven't heard. Like, I'm super needy with my buddies the same way I am in relationships.
Maybe it's like I don't want to be a burden to them, and like sometimes my life gets these roller coaster moments where I just have too much going on that I can barely handle myself. So I don't want to burden someone else on that. So I kind of just distance myself away from it and try to deal with it on my own.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense if you're having all these jobs, staying busy. And look, I find so much value from my work, but I also have to realize, like, carving out, there's like a pie, right? And you have to find the equilibrium there. I don't know what it is, but, you know, like you said about seasons, sometimes you just want to make a lot of money and work really hard and put your head down. And then other times you might value more needing the friends. You know, once you realize, like, it's not always the destination, but it's the road trip, which kind of ties into driving with Dave because, well, it's because I always feel like motion is so good for us as humans. Ponds, lakes, they have a lot of bacteria in them when the water's not moving. Right. And so we just need constant motion. But unfortunately, if you're running in a direction, you might not have friends that are going in that same direction. Right. And I think, I don't want to say I outgrew my friends that I no longer talk with, but again, you know, they did their own lives and I did mine, and unfortunately those didn't sync up together in our time period. And it's not to say that we don't, you know, continue our friendship later on, but I used to only value work. I was a huge workaholic. Like, if you asked me to be somewhere for like a birthday party or a special moment, I will not be there if I need to work. So this counts as work then, doing the... No, but things have changed in the last year. Honestly, when I met my boyfriend, I realized that I worked my ass off to the ground, where I was burning out so often and I was missing moments of my sister's lives and my friends, that I just decided to take a step back and put me first and my friendships first. And I decided to just, you know what, fuck it. Let's just go out and fuck it. Let's just, you know, go on that vacation and, you know, spend the money that you want to. I think I just was in this mindset of, I don't want to be broke and 15 years old couch surfing again. So I worked my ass off and saved so much money. But what am I working for if I can't enjoy my life? You know? So then I came to that realization, and I spent a lot of money this past year. I moved my home base to LA, and LA is very expensive to live at. And it does give me some anxiety that I spent that much money, but almost relief, because in the first time in 10 years, I actually got to live. Yeah. And I'm totally with you as far as, I read this book by Marianne Williamson, The Law of Divine Compensation, and it really, you know, it's almost like a scarcity principle when we hoard our money and when we're like, save all of our pennies. And it's good to save, but it's also good to like enjoy the life, because you get to a certain age where you go, I'm not getting any younger here. I can't go do this or do that once I have family, or, you know, you just want to like take advantage of experiences. So how did your boyfriend, first of all, how did you guys meet, and how did he show you that, you know, those areas you were lacking, you can evolve more? My boyfriend's a free spirit. He's an attorney, so his life is very structured in the career world. So everything else in his life, he's a freaking free spirit. But it's so funny because me and Stefan had dinner the other night. We were talking about how everything in your life happens for a reason, and the sequence that it happens is meant to happen that way. If it weren't for COVID and the world was the same, I would have never met Stefan. Probably would have never met you. Yep. I would have never met Chris Randone, who was my best friend at the time, during COVID. And that means I wouldn't have flown to San Diego that many times to meet Chasen and Spencer, who are my closest friends now. And without Chasen and Spencer, I would have never met Christian, who's my boyfriend, because they're friends with him. Interesting. So all because of like that one thing that happened, like the whole world shut down. It seemed like the world was ending. Was actually such a blessing. I'm sorry, unpopular opinion, I love COVID. Not the illness. That's okay to say. The time that in the world that COVID was like this fear so fast, and it really made people like be on their toes to see how do I pivot? We've all come out of it with different experiences, and I am completely on the same page as you. For me, it was life-changing. Yeah. But only life-changing after I took the first part of COVID to relax. Yep. And stand-up comedians, there's always a night to do stand-up. There's always a show you're not on. There's always looking at other people's, career trajectory. Someone else is making it before you do. And then finally, everyone just stopped doing that, stopped hustling so hard. So I can totally relate to that, to like having permission almost to not needing to hustle so hard. Yeah. And what that does to you when you get out of that deep end, I always relate it back to like the shallows. When you get out of that deep end, into the shallows. You can really see what you want in life when we're not so doomed by like, I got to do this because I got to pay for my health insurance. Like, we don't realize how toxic our culture has been with the hustle culture. And you're younger than me, but we're in that generation where everything's costs more money now. You work in real estate. It's like everyone's just like white knuckling it, trying to get by, not taking their vacation time and all this. And then the pandemic hits and you go, for what?
For what?
For what?
Yeah, that was a huge turning point for me. I think I'm a religious person, and I'm like, you know what? God was like, everyone needs to freaking pause and reevaluate.
Yeah.
You know, if you asked me before this past year, I would say hustling is the way to go. You need to hustle. I'm a boss ass bitch. Like, you need to work your ass off. If you're not the hardest working person that you know, you're not working hard enough. And then I came to a realization, for freaking what?
For what? Yeah.
Like, so I have like these panic attacks and anxiety attacks because I'm working so much and I can't even enjoy my life that I'm working for.
And you can still work hard.
Yeah, I work hard. Oh my God, I still believe in hard work.
Yeah,
but like,
sure.
that
we're talking
hustle
about
culture,
we're talking about the nonstop.
I thought about like my contingency plans. If like all else fails in my life, I would just move to like Vietnam, open up a coffee shop in my house. Everyone has their business in their own house, and they just relax and they just make enough to live.
Yeah.
You know, but this doesn't mean that you shouldn't plan for your future. Like, I believe in retirement plans and investing and being smart with your money. But I think to a point where you're like giving yourself panic attacks and anxiety attacks is not the way to go.
You know, I studied abroad in France in 2006, and it was like we were in the middle of the war, but we still thought we were on the good side of the war. We were, you know, that was when I was defending Lance Armstrong. He's not a cheater, you know, like at the time we just like had no idea. I only knew what I knew, what that was jammed down my throat. And then, you know, we don't call them French fries, we call them freedom fries. All this stupid nationalistic stuff that we were doing, thinking we were the champs. And like, what does that get you? So I go to France and I realize they work less hours per week. They're more efficient per work hour. And we're going to have to grapple with this as a society where like we don't need to be working that hard. There's ways we can do less and still accomplish more. And it's a very sort of personal place to try to get to that point, because it is a struggle, because you know, there is a huge wage gap out there and there's all these issues.
I think the way to wealth is not how much money you make, it's the passive income that you can build yourself on. Like, I own a couple properties.
Oh, nice. Where?
In New York. And 2 of them are rentals. 1 of them I live at still. My dad lives there while I'm not there. But that, along with like retirement plans, like this is what will build you wealth so you can live freely. You know, like you're not going to, working hard until you're 65 and a half years old is so stupid to me. Like, you're telling me when I'm 65, I get to enjoy my life when I'm old, not as hot, and have no energy?
Wait, I wanted to ask you this, and you mentioned it. When did you first feel hot?
Oh, okay, let me tell you. I was a tomboy, and everyone forgets that. I was a huge tomboy as a kid. I was on the boys wrestling team in high school.
Boys wrestling team? On
varsity, 7-1, I only lost once. And
you're beating up the boys?
Yeah, beating up the boys.
This all makes sense now.
Yeah. But I
do you wear the same unitard? Like,
yeah, we wore a leotard, or not, what do they call it? Singlet. And I had to wear a shirt underneath. Because obviously, I always said,
male wrestling is the most homoerotic thing. I'm not judging it, but it's a lot of balls in your chin type of deal. So you're there wrestling with the guys. You're on top of each other.
Yeah. I have pictures. I look really ugly when I was back then. But then junior year hit, and I got my braces off.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like,
hot girl,
hide your kids, hide your wife.
And this is in Syracuse. Is this a mainly white town?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I imagine it's like where I grew up.
Yeah. You know, it's so crazy because I feel like a lot of Asian Americans, like first generation kids, will be able to relate to this, is that I hated being Asian. I hated it. I kept getting bullied for it. And people would be like, shut up, you're Asian. Like using Asian as a insult. And now I'm looking back, I'm like, Asian, so I'm skinnier, I have better hair, better skin, less likely to be obese. I'm going to look this age until I'm 50.
Yeah, you're going to
What is the problem here?
400 years old. Looking great.
Unfortunately, I'm going to live forever, so that's freaking great.
The batteries died because we were having such a good conversation, so we pulled over into a, I guess people can see, like a willow. It looks like we pulled over off a ditch. We've moved to a really nice neighborhood here.
We're in Beverly Hills.
For shade.
No, I would say we're West Hollywood.
West Hollywood still? Yeah, this is where the rich, successful actors live, not your half-sister.
Not
She's
my
not here.
half-sister.
So you got your boyfriend. You've graduated from your season of reality TV on The Bachelor. Would you go back to The Bachelor?
No.
No chance?
I have a boyfriend.
Oh, that's true, yeah. I guess, well, that doesn't stop some people. Would you do any other reality shows?
So right now we're filming $1 Million Listing.
That was on my, look at this. I only have a few things. I have $1 Million Listing.
Look at his list.
Well, you know why? I trusted we would have a good conversation, so I didn't need anything else here. But just in case, I like to be prepared. So tell me about, $1 Million Listing in LA doesn't tell you much, but I understand the show's been around for a while, so $1 million might have gotten you farther.
This is season 15.
Wow.
I was on the last bit of last season, but I just joined, so I was like, I was holding a tray of drinks at an open house.
Are you on the show as a real estate agent? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's so exciting. That's big news.
I don't know why it doesn't feel like big news to me.
Because it came easy.
No. I think because, like, I am so, like, numb to, like, the reality TV, like, being filmed. It's just, like, whatever to me. So I think it's exciting, and I don't know how it's going to be because we don't know until it's aired, how it's edited and everything.
So are you wondering if you're going to be, like, catty in it?
No. We're not, like, Selling Sunset. We actually sell houses.
Oh. Do you watch Selling Sunset?
I watched the first season.
Man, since the first season, it's become just drama.
Yeah. But that's what sells on Netflix, you know?
So you're on Bravo now.
Yeah, so we're on Bravo now.
Bravo's fantastic.
I love them.
I never watched a thing in my life until, but you say they're fantastic. Like, I become like Bravo. I watched them from Vanderpump this year. So good. The editing, the way they incorporate social media and things like that. So what was the process like getting scooped up to be a part of that?
So again, a sequence of why everything happens for a reason. I had an old manager, and she was god awful, and she stole from me. And she
like commissions.
Yeah. But because of her, I met my really good friend Shelby.
Okay.
And Shelby just got a real estate license like 2 years ago or so, and she worked with Tracy. She's like, Tracy's been trying to find like this powerhouse of women. Like,
Tracy's the star.
Yeah, Tracy's the lead. So
I'll
she's
post
a team
photo.
lead.
I got the photo. I covered this story on my channel. Everyone was very happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. I try not to read those posts anymore because they tend to be negative real quick. A lot of people don't like me in Bachelor World. I don't know why. I'm like, what did I ever do to you guys?
Bachelor and your half sister are
not fans of me. You know why? Because I don't sugarcoat anything, and I'm sorry, it is what it is.
Yeah. But when people say it is what it is, they're usually an asshole. Go, well, it is what it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. It's like you can sugarcoat a little bit. No, but I'm just kidding.
I think it's like the New Yorker in me and like the non-emotional part of like growing up in a Asian American household. Like we're just like not in tune with our emotions. And I think this past year I definitely learned a little bit more about empathy.
Because did Christian bring that out?
Yeah, probably.
Boy, how symbolic. Christian. You've learned about love and empathy through a guy named Christian.
I know, which is funny because he's atheist.
They always say like if your name's Dennis, you become a dentist. If your name's Christian, you become an atheist.
Yeah, I guess so. But what was he talking about?
Empathy and just learning. And that's what probably makes it easy to edit you in a reality show because you might say what people think. Like, so would you say your filter is not exactly?
I don't have a filter.
Working?
Yeah, but that's honestly why like the comedic route was really my thing. I would like to say I'm pretty decently funny on the show my time on The Bachelor, but that's because I was just like quick witted and like no filter. I'm just like, well,
I talk about this all the time. They cast pageant queens that are guarded, that will say they're very calculated in what they say, and I like people like you, like Katie Thurston, like Caitlin Bristow, people that just give it to you. Now, are they going to say something wrong? You're walking on thin ice when you share your true opinions on things. So you might have to apologize more or, explain yourself in certain ways, but you probably do sleep better at night just being your authentic self.
Yeah, I never have not been my true self. Like for my motto is like, you take people for who they are. And once you accept people for who they are, you will live a much happier life. Like, for example, my boyfriend cannot be on time whatsoever. And I used to get really upset and it would give me so much anxiety because I'm punctual, you know? And I'm just like, you know what? It doesn't matter. He will always never be on time. It is what it is. The sooner I accept that, the better.
Yeah. Not letting people have to live up to your expectations. Right. Now, it could be damning if it's like a guy who just cheats or, there's obviously boundaries. Yeah. But when you learn, okay, he doesn't show up on time because maybe like he doesn't share his love through that punctuality. By the way, I showed up right on time. I was right around the corner. I was ready to go. But yeah, I mean, everyone's different. Like, how do you guys express your love to each other?
We have to keep in mind that everyone was raised so differently. Like, even me and my sisters in the same household were raised so differently. People absorb things differently. So they experience this world differently. Christian is he loves words of affirmation. And he loves, what is it?
So you can be like, I love you when you're on time.
Yes, I love you if you're on time. I'm just kidding. I'm like a very acts of service and quality time person. So we express love in very different ways. I think it was a really big learning curve too, but to some extent, I always say that he is the heightened version of me. Like, everything that I am, that I hate about myself, he does 10 times worse. Like, I was very late with my friends because I didn't think it was that important. And like, I'll show up to lunch late. And now I have a boyfriend who's an hour late to everything.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I always say this, like, with our time, and I don't know, maybe if this is a spiritual thought, but like, our time here on earth is like a video game. We're playing the game, and if you don't correct whatever issue you wanted to bring to your human self, you get that issue over and over. Why do I keep dating assholes? Why do I keep that? You just keep getting it till you learn about it, and then you really get presented with a new set of problems. Yeah. And you're always going to have some set of problems, because I think that's just what we want, is to learn from struggle. Yeah, I think I learned, my last boyfriend, I was 19, so I haven't had a boyfriend since I was basically a freaking child. 3 years ago. 3 years ago. I'm 28 now. I turned 28 this past Saturday. Happy birthday. Thank you. Wow, 28. 28. A fun year. I'm old now, but I just turned 38, so calm down. No way. You look great. There it is. I thought you were 31. Clip it. No 38. Way. Dave Neal, everybody. I've been drinking my water. I don't party like I used to. He eats sea moss. That's a trick, guys. Yeah, I've been living in Hollywood. I steal the blood of the youth. The fountain of youth. Yeah. Yep. But anyway, happy birthday. And thank you. Yeah, I mean, so you had your last boyfriend when you were 19. Did you have like hot girl 20s? Oh my gosh. I loved being single. And like, I didn't date or like sleep with anybody for like 5 years, I want to say. You didn't sleep with anybody for 5 years? I don't need it like that, I guess. But that is a very anxious, avoidant thing. Yeah. I don't need it. Some guy, you're like, F men. I wasn't really F men. I was just like, I'm so like on my hot girl shit. Like my business is thriving. I'm thriving. I look hotter every 6 months. Like, so you didn't need, and maybe this is because you need like the affirmations, but you didn't need like male validation. No, words mean nothing to me. You could tell me all through the moon that I'm a great person. And I'm like, I know. I am. So funny. I think because my parents never gave that to me, I kind of learned to give it to myself. I think I spent so much of my time trying to get my parents' approval and like make them proud, and I just realized that they never will be. So now I'm proud of myself, and I'm my own parent, and I'm in good terms with my parents now, but I just don't yearn for that, empty promise of them being proud of me and loving me the way that I wanted to. Isn't that wild, though? It's like, if you had the parents you wanted, you probably wouldn't turn out the way you did. No. And that's why it's like that cycle of having, good parents that mean well, and then they create some psychopaths sometimes. Nepo babies. Yeah, yeah. So it's like, that's why like Ashton Kutcher and, is it Mila Kunis? Yeah. They're like, we're rich, our kids aren't going to be. Yeah. Like teach them how to mow the lawn and make some money if they want some new, like really, I don't know what the answer is because I don't have kids, but my wife and I have been talking a lot about it because we're getting old, and we're like, if we're going to do the kid thing, let's not mess them up. Let's do it now. Let's not mess them up. Dave's pregnant. Yeah. I'll do anything on a YouTube video. We'll reveal it here. Come out, Tasha. But yeah, it's I feel like the older I've gotten, the more I've looked at my parents trying the best they could, my mom specifically, and knowing where they really messed up. Not necessarily with me, but with other siblings, and going, oh, maybe don't force the kids to not listen to explicit rap music. Maybe that's not the issue. We had a sibling that like they weren't allowed to listen to like Snoop Dogg.
Why?
And it's like the issues that were created from not giving them that. It's like, let your kid explore, let them make some mistakes.
I learned so much by making mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes as a kid, you know? I was a freaking little shit. But again, I wouldn't change it. And I think a lot of people are confused of why I even still talk to my parents for the way that they treated me. But I just think that even our parents are experiencing this life for the first time themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
And they didn't have the internet. They just like had, you know, a book or a friend telling them how to, you know, oh yeah, let your kid cry themselves to sleep. Oh yeah, that'll go well. Now I'm, you know, in state school trained, you know what I mean? It's like, oh man, they were flying blind.
But I think, I mean, we only live one life in this world, and I'm not going to waste my energy holding grudges against people. Yeah. I don't think I have a grudge. I don't think I hate anybody, actually.
Anyone from the Bachelor show that really scorned you? You left the Bachelor on a 2-on-1 date, right? Was it a 2-on-1
It was a
date?
two. Was it?
With McKenna?
It was like we met before the rose ceremony together. But yeah, even McKenna, like, she's annoying, but like, why do I care? I don't freaking care. Like, she's not in my day-to-day life. I'll never see her ever again. I really don't care.
Yeah, these aren't friends you choose. They kind of really have to tolerate. Interesting stuff. So where do you see the next chapter of your life going? The next season, as you put it?
I feel like there's so much that I want to do still. And I think I have this constant fear of running out of time. So...
Boy, that's the thing that keeps us going. Yeah. And it's like, how do you channel that energy without the anxiety of running out of time?
My anxiety is really bad.
That's why I get when people cry on their birthdays. It's like, yeah, you're 1 year closer to not achieving what you want in life.
Oh my God,
not you, but like that's how I feel. I'm like, oh boy, here's another one. Yeah. And now I'm 2 years from 40, and I'm like, I want my 40s to be the years that I crush it.
I don't think I put it as milestones. Like, I'm not worried about turning 30. I'm so excited to be 30 in my 30s. I think it's more so like, how has it been 12 months have passed, and what have I done with the time that I was given in this 12 months? Because what if I die tomorrow? Have I accomplished everything that I wanted to do? So I think that in my mind always gives me the anxiety, but I forget to as well, like, just live. Because what if you do die tomorrow? Are you going to be on your way out worrying about what if and how much you could have done? But what about the things that you have done? I think I'm really bad at, you know, patting myself on the back, because I'm like, okay, I achieved this goal. Time for the next one. Like, I don't even get a chance to enjoy that goal that I hit.
You got to take a victory lap.
I gotta take a victory lap. Wrap around.
I made Tasha take me to dinner because I got an article. I got an interview with Time Magazine last week. Sick. Wild, right?
Congrats!
I don't know.
Oh my God!
It's coming out in a few days, but I don't know. They're gonna be so annoyed for hearing about this, but I don't know how much they're gonna use. So I might look stupid, but they're gonna hyperlink the podcast. I'm like, yes, just traffic. And Tasha wouldn't let me pay, and she's like, this, and I'm like, yeah, we have to, because immediately I was like, okay, the next thing, and it's like, no, just chill out. You did a nice interview, you know. Yeah. It was easy and effortless because I spent years learning the things I had to learn to get there. And yeah, just take that victory lap, enjoy it, let that dopamine sort of fester. It's like after sex, right? Have your post-sex cigarette, metaphorically. Don't just go on to like, all right, we got to go chill out. And, you know, we totally abandoned your wrestling days when you I wanted to finish that thought. You were wrestling in high school with the boys, and then your braces come off. So take me from there. Take me from that part of life. The braces come off. Are you hot now? All of a sudden the boys are like, yo, Tam, what's up?
I think, I was feeling myself, you know. My teeth have been my biggest insecurity growing up. Yeah.
Same.
I had braces for 6 years up to that point. And I've had now Invisalign twice, like all these things. But
isn't it wild that something so simple as that, it
really
can keep you from smiling. You start laughing like this. You start not...
People always are like, why don't you smile with your teeth? And I love my teeth now. But like in photos, guess what? I'm always like this.
So you still have that.
Not that I'm insecure. I think I'm so ingrained, like used to it. But so braces came off. I was like getting more confident. I was like really, I think when I started being tunnel vision on myself, that's when I really glue up, because I stopped caring about what anyone else wanted from me, what people thought. Like, I spent a lot of my childhood years like wanting to be like the popular girls and sitting at the popular table wearing Abercrombie and Hollister. And I think when I stopped living for other people, and I just lived to myself, that is when I literally took off, and I don't think I've looked back since. And everyone that I grew up with, they're like, oh, like, we're so happy for you, out of nowhere, like all these things that I keep like having milestones of in my life. But it's just like, I forgot that you even existed because I just stopped paying attention to your opinions. You know, how you value me, because it was never important.
Yeah, and that's something you just can't really teach someone.
No.
Like your kids, like I hope to show them like other people's opinions don't matter. And it's worse even now with social media with kids. But part of that, like feeling hot, it's like it's your internal feeling that radiates outward. And it really is like an orb around you when you just feel like you finally have your shit together. When you
energy
can smile.
and your everything.
You learn how to talk to people, and you just become more authentic and less guarded, and that just opens so many doors, especially if you're working in real estate. How did bartending in the social aspect of that affect like real estate? Like, was there any crossover there with being able, because don't they say like you get into real estate after you're done with the night hours of bartending, because it is like right, it's a people person job.
So after my restaurant days, I got a desk job at Allstate, and I was supposed to be just a receptionist, and then I ended up being a salesperson because that's just naturally who I was at my core, being in the restaurant business. I was still bartending at the time, and I sold all my patrons insurance. And then I'm like, all my insurance clients are like trading houses, and like, you know, they need house insurance. Like, why don't I just sell real estate too? If I can sell freaking insurance, I can sell a house. Yeah. Insurance is really hard to sell because it's not fun for anybody. So then I got my real estate license, and that's how I met all these people. That's why I love bartending. People are like, why do you still bartend? Like, they look down at it. I'm like, first of all, you have no idea about the money that we make.
Yeah.
It's good enough for me to fly back and bartend.
Plus, you have this like, you have the bar protecting you in a way, so you can, I'm not, maybe you tell me, but like be flirty, be outgoing, but still like be able to be like, all right, I'm still anxiously on this side of the bar if you're like too drunk or whatever. Yeah. Like, did you have to deal with that? Like
oh my God, drunk people all the time, especially when you're sober. And like, I don't really drink that much. So you just really notice how annoying people are when they're drunk and you're just stone cold sober. But it's networking to some sense, you know, like bartending was probably the best thing I ever did for my business, because these people that I met, I would have never met unless I was behind the bar, spending hours with them for years. You know what's interesting? It's like on Selling Sunset, you've got all these women who have these connections. Like, oh, my investor and it's like, how do they meet all these people? Well, it's through like jobs like bartending, or even probably a lot of jobs that are like, what's the sparkler girl that brings out Bottle Girls? Bottle Girls. Yep. I mean, they literally, you start to mingle with people that are wealthier, and you start to make these connections. And then as you grow out of the bar, you still know these people, and there's trust that's there. Yeah. There's so much trust with a bartender and a patron. The trust between a bartender and a patron is very high. And I think people forget that. But like these people, I mean, remember this bar that I last worked at, or I still do when I fly home, I've been there for 8 years. Like, these people saw me before I was 21. They were there for when I turned 21. They were there for when I got cast for the show. They saw me grow up. And like, when you are part of someone's life like that, like their growth, you have to have some sort of connection with them. Yeah. You know, like I've seen people go through divorces. I've seen people go through losing their dog, losing their child, like these things that we talk to them about, like their milestones in their lives too. People are living at the same time that we're living, you know, and they experience things too. So I think like right now I have a listing, and it's my good friend now, who his name's Russell, but I wouldn't have known him unless it was for the bar. Yeah. So how does that work? You get like your company gives you a listing, and then you have a certain amount of time to sell it? Well, it depends. So I'm on a team now in LA. So I'm on Tracy's team, and she has listings. Oh, so not even, I'm sorry, not even when you're not even filming $1 Million listing, you're still working for her? Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah. $1 Million listing, it's not like we are set time, we're filming set. It's, they film our lives. You're on the squad. Yeah, I'm on the squad. They film our lives, and like they follow us around of what we do day to day working. Cool. So you get to make your commission and also pursue reality TV. Correct. Wow. Yeah. Boy, I'd be envious of you too if I was your half sister. This sounds like a lot you got going on. It's a lot though. And I run a team in New York. I just hired a new girl. Her name's Emily. She's doing so great so far. Great. So again, that's like another way that I can build passive income, is that I don't even have to be in New York, but my knowledge that I've built in the last 6 years of my career is valuable to her. and negotiating and like everything that I can give to her. She's just my boots on the ground running, you know?
So anyone in the Syracuse area and in the Los Angeles area, if they're looking to buy a home or sell a home, they can contact you?
Yes, you can contact me. If you want to be on the show, I can pitch it as well if you're in LA. But other than that, I'm a very knowledgeable agent, and I have a background in insurance. I've been in insurance for 9 years now. So I have that little extra knowledge that not many real estate agents know.
Do you know Clayton Eckert? Do you know him? Because he's doing real estate now in Phoenix, right? Have you followed him?
Susie's ex?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah,
No, I
he's
didn't know.
selling stuff in Scottsdale. That's where he's at.
No way. How's he doing?
I don't know. He looks good.
I'd it's
go to a
so
listing
funny
with him.
the difference of social media with reality TV people, how it shifted in the last like 3 years. It used to be guaranteed if you're the lead, you'd be set.
Yeah.
Now we're out here being real estate agents.
I mean, some aren't even getting 50,000 Instagram subscribers.
I know.
Followers. Like it's bananas. Versus like Corinne Olympios, who I just had on, is 1.3 or something million. And why? I mean, she was good on the show, but so were you. It just came down to she was there during the height of when Instagram was there, and it settled down a little bit.
I would like to say too, like Bachelor Nation is very, middle America. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it was hard for me to place myself. I think that's why not many Bachelor fans are on my side, because not the way that I look, but I don't live the same lives as them. Like the Hannah Anns of the world and Maddie Pruitt and like Hannah Brown, like they live different lives than me.
Yeah, that's like I say, starting on third base and thinking you hit a triple. Like Madison Pruitt, one of the reasons I'm so tough on her is because she just looks like she's never like worked a day in her life. Like she comes from a wealthy family. I don't know. It's just okay. So that went out, but we're just gonna keep going here because we're gonna wrap it up. So yeah, I mean, you like that's why I relate with you. You seem to have the hustle. You know what I mean? You've got like let's do this. You've got, I'm going to put in the address and we're going to work our way back. But you've got the hustle and it feels like you've done so much to learn about what feeds you as far as...
I'm still learning about it more and more every day. I think therapy's helped a lot to kind of dissect everything. And what I really just value in this world has shifted,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, I want to thank you so much for doing the show today, and I'm so excited to see you on $1 Million Listing, and I can't wait to see what else is in store for you in your next season in life, as they say. How can people best support you? Through following you on Instagram? We'll post a link to how they can contact you for any real estate services. Anything else?
Any
idea of ever doing a podcast or anything yourself?
Yeah, I've actually have been trying to work on a podcast myself. I just try to see where it fits in my timeline. The first people will know here is that I'm opening up a coffee shop.
Ooh.
I'm trying to open up a coffee shop and smoothie bar in New York. So that's kind of been taking a lot of my time.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So I love the support. Like, I love real people. I think a lot of my fans that I have are so loyal because they appreciate like business and like people who have like real jobs, and I'm not just banking off of like social media, even though it is a plus, and I do ads, but it's just better to
you're well diversified.
Aspirations. Yeah,
the day that Instagram stops recommending people, it can really like affect people if all your eggs in one basket. I mean, that's partly why I've been talking about for the last year, how do I get out of the Bachelor Nation news niche that I kind of built, because no one was doing daily content like this, and it's just not sustainable long term. But that's what you do. And now I started the podcast where this is hosted on both YouTube and audio, and it's about just kind of like protecting yourself while also doing things that you can either tolerate or love if you're lucky enough. But anyway, let's see.
You guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok. I'm on YouTube now. My YouTube shorts have been blowing up.
I saw that. You had one go viral?
Yeah. People apparently don't like the way that I eat Indian food. So I don't know. I'm like, I love Indian food. So I'm sorry that I don't eat it the right way. But
that's so funny.
Yeah, it's funny. People are funny online.
They are.
But my whole name is Tammy Kaylee, Tammy Kayly. You can also email me if you want any real estate inquiries. I can help you with commercial real estate and residential real estate.
Amazing. Well, again, I thank you so much for coming on, and come back anytime. And maybe I'll see you on $1 Million Listing if I finally go buy a house. Maybe you can come
you
to... Oh, by the way, actually, last question. What's your favorite drink to make?
Oh my gosh, let's see. I love a good classic like variation of a spicy margarita. I make this like cucumber spicy margarita that's really nice. But
that's probably one of my favorite drinks right there. We had a spicy mango margarita for our like signature wedding drink, and yes, it was amazing. Maybe there was
thanks for the invite.
Yeah, sorry about that. we didn't have. Oh, you would have loved it. We were over there in Mexico, just I have no drama to share from it. It was one of those like everyone's like, oh, something's gonna go wrong. No, everything was lovely.
No, I love that.
It worked out well.
Good.
No one got sick that I know of.
I love bartending. I think I'll always be bartending. I love crafting up cocktails.
Have you ever gone home with a patron?
Oh, yeah. I took home 2 of my patrons before.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right, tell me that story real
Okay,
quick.
so real quick over the dating stuff. When I was dating my boyfriend, I was dating 3 other guys at the same time.
Okay, Christian, you're saying?
Yep. I was dating Christian and then 3 other guys as well at the same time. And they were great. I didn't sleep with any of them. I only slept with one of them. I made sure I wasn't like commingling at that just to be safe, you know? But all the boys knew about each other. They treated me well. And I think that my dating life was great. And then one of them happened to come out on top, and that was Christian, which I did not expect, and none of my friends expected.
Came out on top. There you go.
Yep, and now we are almost coming up to a year.
Amazing.
How crazy is that?
Time flies, right?
Time flies.
But that's a good thing. Like, date around. Don't put all your. It's almost like your jobs, right?
Yeah.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you're dating around, the one that's supposed to take root will, and then you can let the other ones go.
I think if you're honest about what you want, and like, you know, to some extent, like, don't play the stupid childish games. It's just like, be honest with yourself, being honest with the other person. Like, all my other boyfriends or the guys I was dating knew about each other. They just like didn't want to hear about it. So I'm like, just so you know, I am dating other people. I'm not sleeping with anyone. Like, blah blah blah.
So you guys get out your Google calendars to see what day you're free.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Christian's got me on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you're welcome anytime in the car.
Okay, we'll do this again next time.
Amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.